Welcome back to the Flying Scotsman FM channel, and we are back today with another tactical clinic. This tactic was sent in to me by Helmut over on Reddit, and it is the Helmut 433. If you're wanting to have your tactic tested on the channel, please just either email me a copy of the tactic, as in the actual file, or even just send me screenshots of it. My email address is in the channel description, or you can always send me it over on Twitter. So today we'll just take a quick look at the tactic here. It's the 4-3-3. We've got a standard back four, two wing backs, two ball-playing defenders, deep line playmaker in the defensive midfield slot, two attacking Mazzalas with two inside forwards on attack and an advanced forward on attack. So as you can tell, it's a very, very attacking formation. I'm expecting to score a lot of goals and probably concede a lot of goals as well if these five are going to be constantly up and it's just the deep line playmaker holding the position here. So we'll take a look. We can see it's a balanced mentality. We're playing it out from defence. We're playing at a higher tempo, working the ball into the box. We're also playing for set pieces. So depending on your team, if you've got tall strikers, tall defenders, playing for set pieces will be absolutely perfect for you if you are wanting to try this out. In the transition, we are counter pressing, so we'll constantly be pressing, going on the front foot, and we'll also be countering. Any time that we win possession back, we will just be bombing forward. And as you can see, we have the two wing backs will be bombing on, the two Mazzalas going forward, the inside forwards and the advanced forward all attacking, putting pressure on the opposition defence. We're also distributing to the deep line playmaker. We're taking short kicks from the goalkeeper. So the ball, as soon as we get it, will be given straight to the deep line playmaker, and he'll be looking to pass the ball in behind to any of the five players in front of him. Out of possession, it is a high pressing system, higher defensive line. We're pressing much more often. We're preventing the short goalkeeper distribution. We're staying on our feet. We're not lunging in with tackles. We're asking our defensive line to just step up that little bit more. So as you can see, it is a very, very high pressing system, and it will lead to a lot of goal scores, but as mentioned, I think it will lead to a lot of goals conceded. Here we are at the end of the season, at the end of the tactical trial. We can see here from the competition screen, Arsenal finished 4th in the Premier League. They were predicted 6th, so it is an improvement. We have managed to qualify for the Champions League. We've also won the Emirates FA Cup while losing out in the third round to Lincoln City in the Carabao Cup. Now that is interesting because, as you've seen from the thumbnail, Lincoln City are the lower league team we are testing this with, so it will be interesting to see. It doesn't show us here how they got on in Europe, so we'll take a look at the schedule, just go right up to the top and have a look through some of their fixtures. So as we can see, a lot of wins here. We did lose out to Chelsea 3-2 in the Premier League and Tottenham in the Northland Derby 4-1 in the first month of the season. However, from there, we went on a massive run here. In Europe, it looks like we had FC Midtjylland, Zurich and Hearts in the Europa League, so I'm going to assume that we have topped that group. Let's see, 3, 4, 5 and 6 wins in the group there. We've also lost out here to Liverpool and Man City, so far, other than beating Man United 5-1 here and a thumping win away at Old Trafford, it does look like we are struggling against the bigger and similar sized teams. Here, this is where we lost out to Lincoln, who are also playing the Helmut 433, so we'll take a look, see how Lincoln got on just in a couple of minutes. And we can see 6-0 win against Aldershot in the FA Cup. Hammered Watford 5-1 in the FA Cup. We went through a little bit of a bad patch here in February, losing to Leeds United, Manchester City and Chelsea before narrowly beating Brighton. We then battered Man United again 4-0 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Europe, last 16 here in the Europa League, we drew 4 each with Inter away from home before winning 2-1 in the home leg, going through 6-5 in aggregate. Went through the quarterfinals of the FA Cup in extra time against Manchester City. Lovely win there. It looks like City have signed Rafael Leao, very good player that they have signed there, I'm assuming in January. Quarterfinals of the Europa League, we beat Fenerbahce 3-0 away in Turkey before a 2-2 draw at the Etihad. The Emirates rather. I'm losing my place here. Means that we go through 5-2 on aggregate through to the semi-finals. And then beat Chelsea out in the FA Cup semi-final on penalties before losing the last 2 games in April, and then just the last couple of wins here definitely. Last couple of wins in May held on for fourth to qualify for the Champions League. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be in Europe as we drew 2 each with Feyenoord at home and then getting absolutely battered 5-1 away before we demolished Leicester in the FA Cup final. Gabby Jesus with 4 goals, Zinchenko with 1 and El Neni with another. We'll now just take a quick look at the squad, see how the goals were shared around, see how the tactic works. So Gabby Jesus scored 31 goals. Bukayo Saka got 16 goals along with 15 assists. Emile Smith-Rowe was a surprise inclusion here maybe with 16 goals and 7 assists. Martinelli with 14 goals. Xhaka with 10. Fabio Vieira with 10. Odegaard with 10. Odegaard also with 17 assists. As you can see, the goals are massively spread around this squad. Look at the amount of players that have scored goals here. So overall, I would say a very successful season for Arsenal. Winners of the FA Cup, qualifying for the Champions League in 4th place, as well as getting to the semi-finals of the Europa League. Please let me know down below if, as an Arsenal fan, you think this is a good season. Ordinarily, not compared to this year, obviously, because you are top of the league, and it has been a long time coming for you to win that trophy. So let me know down below if prior to the season starting you would have taken this. Now we're taking a look at Lincoln City, where we can see on the right hand side here they have won the Papa John's trophy. So that's the first trophy in the bag for Lincoln City here. Quarter-final exit in the Carabao Cup to Manchester United. Getting to the last 8, no mean feat. Unfortunately, coming up against better Premier League opposition. Emirates FA Cup losing out in the 3rd round to Ipswich. And in Sky Bet League 1, it's not showing us here, it's just showing us that Bolton have won the playoffs. So let's just take a look at the table. Lincoln City, who were predicted to finish 14th when we started, finished in 4th place. So they've obviously went out in the playoffs. Who have they lost to? They've lost 6-5 to Bolton on aggregate. Unfortunate. But a very, very good season for Lincoln, finishing 4th place, 10 places higher than expected. We'll take a look at the schedule again, just see if there's any outstanding results here. So the EFL Trophy, or the Papa John's Trophy, they won in the Group E. They have won 3-1 against Doncaster. They beat Newcastle United under 21s, beat Barnsley in penalties, which meant they will have went through. You know, a good run here in the league without losing any games. However, in October they had 2 losses, a draw and a loss in a row, which is obviously started them a wee bit in the push for maybe getting top 3 in the league. FA Cup first round beat Truro. This is where they beat Arsenal in the EFL Cup. They won the second round of the Papa John's Trophy against Sheffield Wednesday 4-0. They then won in the 3rd round against the Man United under 21s, going and winning that on penalties. Here's the loss, the 4-1 loss to Ipswich in the FA Cup 3rd round, unfortunate. And then just a couple of days later, they have went and lost in the quarterfinals 4-0, with Man United coming and battering them there. Which, I mean, it is a Premier League opposition, so you can't really be too upset about that. They then beat Derby County 3-0 in the EFL Trophy quarterfinals, before beating Walsall 4-1 in the semi-final. And then you had another good run of victories here, 4-1 against Exeter, 5-1 against Sheffield Wednesday. They then beat Arsenal under 21s, 5-3 in the EFL Trophy to lift that competition, before unfortunately losing out in the playoff semi-final to get promoted to the Championship. Now taking a look at the squad, there's only really 3 players here that have managed to get a lot of goals. You've got Ben House and Tom Hopper, both with 28 goals, and Danny Mandrew with 13. So a lot less goals than we saw with the Arsenal squad, but that is maybe to be expected when you are playing with, you know, not the same calibre of players. So again, let me know down below if you're a Lincoln fan, or if you're not, even if you're not a Lincoln fan, let me know how you think Lincoln have done this season with the Helmut 4-3-3. Let me know if this is a successful season for them. And last but not least, we will take a look at FC Koln, who were predicted to finish 12th this season, and as we can see, they have finished in 11th place, so pretty much where they were expected to finish. although they were only 5 points off finishing in the Europa Conference League places, so not too bad a season, I would say. Losing out in the DFB Pokal third round against Borussia Mönchengladbach. Let's just take a look at the full league table, see how many goals they scored, how many they conceded, see what we can see. So they scored 49 goals but conceded 58. So minus 9 goal difference, finishing 43 points. Not too bad. Finishing above some pretty big teams such as Gladbach themselves, Schalke. And we will take a quick run through. There'll be less to see with FC Koln in the schedule list, but we'll take a look, see if there's any notable victories here. Good run of form here, September and October. Very good run of form before losing to Mainz 4-2. That stopped that. They're actually in the Europa Conference League. My apologies, I missed that before. It wasn't on the first page. So they've beaten Young Boys 3-0, drawn with Dnipro 1 each, beaten Slovan Bratislava 2-1 before beating them 3-0. Beaten Dnipro again 2-1 before losing 5-1 to Young Boys, which means they will have qualified for the next round. For a second I thought they hadn't, but look at this. After the World Cup, they have had a shocking run. January and February, they have drawn 2 games and lost every other game, including some batterings, losing 7-0 to Bayern Munich and 4-1 to Stuttgart. Before, I didn't know this was possible, but they've played Young Boys in the knockout round straight away, winning 5-2 on aggregate, before losing out to Villarreal in the quarter-final. You know, Villarreal are a very good side, just too good for us on the day. Köln had a very good finish here, you know, not losing a game in the Bundesliga since mid to late March when they went on a run, which is obviously going to have propelled them up the table. I think let's just take a look, see if that is the case. Did they? Yeah, so they were sitting really high up first half of the season, and then, as we saw, coming back from the World Cup, they just plummeted down into 15th before slowly making their way back up to a solid mid-table finish. Now just look at the squad, just like we have with the other sides. Mark Ut, 17 goals. Sargis Adamyan with 10 goals. Linton Mina with 8. And then, much like Arsenal, a lot of the goals are spread around. A lot of 7s and 6s here. So overall, pretty much what FC Koln would have expected. Again, let me know if you think this is an acceptable season for them, if they've done better than they should have, or if they've done slightly worse. That's the end of this tactical clinic. Having a look at the Helmut 4-3-3. Let me know down below if it's a formation, if it's a tactic that you would use. Is it maybe a bit too offensive for you? Is there some things you would change? And let me know how you think this tactic would do with other sides. As always, if you liked the video, please leave it a like, give me a comment. It massively helps me as a creator. And if you do enjoy the content, please subscribe and turn notifications on, as we will have at least one episode of the Tactical Clinic out every single week, along with other experiments and another couple of ideas I've got. So this has been the Flying Scotsman FM, and thanks again for watching. And again, if you like this sort of stuff, please, please, please leave me any feedback at all. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.